Pathos was the same as Jupiter Leia, except the board was dark blue rather than green. The first thing I noticed is that all the usual level icons had been replaced by a blue rock and some kind of orange honeycomb shape. They had part of the jungle icon. They said I paid too much attention to it. I checked the other side of the board to see the new monsters. Instead of Hedorah, it was Biollante. But that couldn't have been right. Godzilla vs. Biollante didn't come out until 1989. And this game was made in 1988. Perhaps Toho, Biollante games to build excitement for the movie next year, but changed their minds. I tried to rationalize the game's abnormalities any way I could, but this would prove to be futile. Castro's map song was the first new song I heard in the game. Like most of the new songs, it's hard to describe it, but I'll try. It started out slow and suspenseful, much slower than any song in the game. But every 12 seconds there will be a loud clashing sound, and the tempo changed. It's like a composer randomly played 5 different songs with the same instruments. I moved Godzilla over to the way the many blue rock icons have displaced the jungle icons at the start of the level. The level is with a blue mountain ridge with a blood red planet from the sky. There was something odd about the mountains. They have a shredded paper look to them. I thought at first that the glitch affected them, but it looked far too intentional to be true. Something about the new level. There were no enemies at all. Not any obstacles. I should also mention that this point meter started to become glitched beyond comprehension. Height didn't bother me much. I never keep points anyways. You don't have to focus on anything. I listened to the music while walking level unopposed. Music had a solid feel to it. It would have been pleasant if I heard it in a normal game. Level went up for 3 screens, but no obstacles around it. It finished very quickly. I tried other levels of the same type and see if any appeared, but there were none. There was little else to be seen in the Blue Mountains, so I tried the other level type. I started one of the orange levels, and my eyes were assaulted by a grotesque background of humorous orange eyes. The sky was the same as ground, so I assumed this game was indicate that this blow took place in a cave. The only enemies were here with Tongo spawns, but as you can see, the little bastards were everywhere. The music didn't help, with adventures of screeching sounds and loud drum beats that sounded like a monster's theme in a horror film. After completing it, I tried to avoid playing through these levels wherever I could. The map was short, so it was only a few minutes before I headed towards a rematch with Godzilla and Mogira. But this time, the sprites and attack patterns were vastly different. I fought Mogira first. Mogira's replacement was a flying machine with a slight resemblance to a past Kagula alien. It was a bit like fighting Mothra, only moved with a lot more grace. It attacks by spinning its front tentacles like a corkscrew, and it still had an eye beam, except now it fired from the drill. This lanky apparition that replaced Godzilla and a move was far more of a challenge. It would run and jump at a fast pace, constantly swinging its arms around, making it hard to get close. And of course, it tried to pin me into the corner as much as annoying a result as ever. I defeated using a combination of tail whips and a heat beam spamming. I defeated them and was go fight Titanosaurus. But when I started the fight, Titanosaurus was nowhere to be seen. The game simply the map with Titanosaurus piece now missing. There is no one else now but Biollante, so I eagerly started the battle. I was quite surprised that Biollante started her fight with her rose form. She was immobile and used tentacles to keep me away from the main body, which took up the most damage. As expected, she turned into her final form, taking enough damage. The sprite looked pretty damn good for 8-bit. The battle technique was the same, except now Biollante can move a bite slower than any other monster. Being hit by the tentacles now or damage now, and Biollante could do an acid spit, which I managed to avoid by jumping in the screen cap. Not much difficult than beat Titanosaurus. It only took 2 rounds. When Biollante was gone, the music had stopped, and there was a new icon replacing the bass. This icon was there before I beat Biollante. It resembled a red tribal mask, and I had a feeling of dread when I got. That's it, our base, it was the exit pathos. So I moved Godzilla to the square and start the level. It was a hellish looking place with no sky and a fire background. The fire looked far more advanced than anything I've seen on the NES. There's music in this form, slow, steady drum sound resembling a heartbeat. All the text in the top of the screen and the light bar were gone. In their place was a single bit of text in the middle of the screen that says, "Run." My feeling of dread had intensified. I cautiously walked through the level, but like the Blue Mountain, there were no enemies. I paced around for a minute before thinking, run? From what? The first time it hit me, I didn't even see it. I heard a noise outside my room. You turned to see something fell. And when I looked back, Godzilla was dying. I figured it must have been a glitch. I was going to play through the game without Godzilla, so I restarted the game and went to the password screen. Have I ever mentioned how creepy the password screen music is? If you played the game, you'll know what I mean. It doesn't at all fit the mood of the game. It may smell like something from a horror game. Maybe they made it so that kinks won't cheat. I was kind of annoyed at this point. Since fella is going to have fight monsters again. But that didn't happen. The game started me off right where I was before I stared at the red face level. So I tried again. Made sure to pay attention this time. That's when I heard a low bellowing sound. Whoa. And when I saw it, this thing. Do you know that feeling your body has when you feel like you're in extreme danger? You start to recoil and tense up as the adrenaline flows through your veins and your nerves start to feel very cold. That's the feeling I had when I took the screen cap. I had seen all the Godzilla movies, but I'm pretty damn sure this was any damn. It had to be something. It had to be something made up. But what kind of sick would put this in a children's game? By sheer dumb luck, or perhaps the adrenaline boost, I managed to run fast away to get away from it. It ran very